America isn't just bombing Iran, it's thinking about going in. Special forces inside Iranian territory to steal 450 kilograms of enriched uranium. If refined, enough for 11 nuclear weapons. The material may already be buried, it may already be moved. They don't even know where it is, and they're already planning the raid. The United States is weighing a dramatic new option in its confrontation with Iran. President Donald Trump's administration is discussing whether to deploy special forces inside Iranian territory to seize the country's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Officials familiar with the deliberations say the idea has been discussed between Washington and Israel as a potential later phase of the war, once Iran's military capabilities are sufficiently degraded. At the center of the concern is Iran's estimated 450 kilograms of uranium, enriched to 60% purity. Experts say that level is just a short technical step away from weapons-grade enrichment. If refined further to 90%, the material could theoretically be sufficient for roughly 11 nuclear weapons. Iran also possesses more than 8,000 kilograms of uranium, enriched to lower levels, material that could be upgraded if enrichment capacity is restored. Preventing Iran from ever obtaining such a capability has been one of Trump's stated objectives since the conflict began. But securing that uranium would likely require something the United States has so far avoided: boots on the ground inside Iran. Military planners say any operation would be complex and dangerous. The uranium is believed to be stored inside heavily fortified underground facilities, primarily at the Isfahan nuclear complex, with additional stockpiles linked to the sites at Natanz and Fordo. These locations were targeted during the US and Israeli strikes in June last year, during what officials describe as a 12-day war that severely damaged Iran's nuclear infrastructure. The strikes destroyed much of Iran's centrifuge capacity and may have sealed some underground entrances. However, the attacks also created a new challenge. The rubble and tunnel damage may have buried the uranium stockpile, making it difficult to locate or retrieve. Officials say two primary options are under discussion. One would involve removing the uranium entirely from Iranian territory. The other would involve sending nuclear specialists to the site to dilute the material so that it can no longer be used for weapons. Such an operation could involve elite military units working alongside nuclear scientists and possibly inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency. But the biggest challenge may not be the extraction, it may simply be locating the material. Before the war, Iran's nuclear facilities were among the most heavily monitored in the world. Inspectors from the Vienna-based IAEA conducted visits almost daily. That oversight ended once the strikes began, leaving a 9-month gap since the last verified inspection. Diplomatic sources say there are increasing concerns that at least some of the uranium may have been moved. International monitors previously observed sustained activity around tunnel complexes near Isfahan shortly before the war. One official familiar with the operational planning described the problem bluntly. First, the uranium has to be located. Then troops would need to reach it and secure it under wartime conditions. Trump has not ruled out such a mission, though he indicated it would only be considered under extreme circumstances. The US military has prepared detailed plans for incursions into Iran in the past. One such operation, named Project Honey Badger, and developed decades ago in the wake of the US Embassy hostage crisis, envisioned airlifting roughly 2,400 special operations troops on more than 100 aircraft into Iran. The plan involved transporting excavation equipment, including a heavy bulldozer, that would be critical for troops if they needed to remove buried uranium. For now, officials say the idea remains part of a wider menu of contingency plans. Despite the rhetoric about ground troops, insiders emphasize that what is being discussed is not a large-scale invasion. Instead, the focus is on small, targeted special operations raids designed to secure or neutralize nuclear material. As one senior official put it, this is not Fallujah. It is a precision mission with global nuclear stakes. It has been 1 week since the United States and Israel launched what Iran is calling unlawful military aggression on Iranian soil. And as of this Sunday, March 8th, the war is not cooling down. If anything, it is burning hotter. Iran's Revolutionary Guards made a pointed declaration through the Fars news agency, warning that the
Islamic Republic is capable of sustaining at least a 6-month intense war at the current pace of operations.
That is not the language of a country looking for an exit. That is a country signaling it is dug in. The Guards also claimed they have targeted more than 200 locations linked to American and Israeli bases and facilities across the region. Whether those numbers hold up to independent verification remains unclear, but the volume of the claim alone reflects the scale of what is unfolding. Then came Saturday's accounting from the Iranian side. Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Zolfagari, the spokesperson for Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters, laid out a striking toll. He said 21 American service members were killed and others wounded during Iranian strikes on the US Navy's Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. He then added that roughly 200 more American personnel were killed or wounded in strikes on Al Dhafra Air Base. The Iranian military also said it struck an American-owned oil tanker in the northern Persian Gulf. The United States, for its part, confirmed that Iran destroyed a $300 million radar system at Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan. That system was part of the THAAD missile defense network. Losing it is not a footnote. It is a significant operational blow. Aboard Air Force One on Friday, March 7th, President Donald Trump held an impromptu back and forth with reporters that offered a window into how Washington is thinking about this war and what comes after it. A journalist asked the president directly whether the United States bombed a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war, killing 175 people. Trump did not hesitate.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hickson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
Whether that explanation satisfies the international community is another matter entirely. Trump was also asked about the possibility of a negotiated settlement, and here is where his answer is worth sitting with.
What sort of thing do you want to see in a deal? I mean, do you think you have maximum negotiating leverage at this point?
I think the president has proved that we have.
Iran today accused the U.S. of
A lot
hitting.
of negotiating leverage, maybe maximum, but we're not looking to settle. They'd like to settle. We're not looking to settle.
Trump said he is not interested in negotiating with Iran at this point, and later added the air campaign could make it a moot point if all potential leaders of Iran are killed and the Iranian military is destroyed.
They're sending in much less drones. They're being decimated. Now, at some point, I don't think there'll be anybody left maybe to say, we surrender. But they're being decimated. It's where they cry uncle, or when they can't fight any longer, there's nobody around to cry uncle. That could happen too, because we've wiped out their leadership numerous times already. So it's if they surrender, or if there is nobody around to surrender, but they're rendered useless in terms of military.
But Iran's own declaration of a 6-month war capacity, combined with the casualty figures it is putting out, tells a very different story from the one Trump is presenting. Two sides, two very different readings of the same war, and somewhere in between, the region is holding its breath.